I'm not even in sport mode right now. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and this is something new. This is the 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. Yes, this employs Toyota's hybrid system, a joint partnership between Mazda and Toyota. And Mazda is really betting big on hybrids. They have introduced both a plug-in and mild hybrid in the CX-70 and 90, and now they are partnering here with Toyota to make a more traditional hybrid of what aims to be one of their best-selling vehicles in the CX-50. Yes, Mazda's really betting big and has high aspirations because they see 15% of 2025 model year sales being hybrid vehicles and 40% of the CX-50 being a hybrid. How does it all compare and what is different? Stay tuned to find out. Yes, I do want to start this one off by saying a huge thank you to Mazda for bringing me this vehicle. They're doing something a little bit different with the launch of CX-50 Hybrid in that they didn't take me to the vehicle, they brought the vehicle to me. They got to let me live with this in my daily life, and we'll get to that here shortly. But let's talk about what is under the hood, because it is not a Skyactiv engine. It is a Toyota 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder mated to 3 electric motors, 2 up front and 1 in the rear. The total system is estimated at 219 horsepower, while the naturally aspirated engine alone is rated at 163 pound-feet of torque. But don't let that low number deceive you, because the rear axle electric motor alone makes 202 pound-feet of torque. So we will talk a little bit more about how this drives in a moment when we're behind the wheel, but suffice to say, those numbers are slightly misleading. You can see it is transversely mounted, so this is a front-wheel drive bias setup here, and there is no actual mechanical connection to those rear wheels, but we do in fact have all-wheel drive. And yes, we also have Toyota's electronic continuously variable automatic transmission, so no old school Mazda 6-speed in this one. Closing the hood, I can go ahead and say I appreciate the upscale upmarket gas struts versus a prop rod. It just gives a better, more classy experience if you ever need to get under the hood. Closing it though, it is a very long, very sleek, very wide hood. No major changes for 2025, especially to this hybrid model, but there are some subtle changes to the hybrid model. It sits a little higher without getting more ground clearance. It's got a slightly reworked fascia and body cladding all the way around to accommodate for everything that's new underneath. This is essentially an old shell on a new underbody. This is a very updated and reworked vehicle when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, so to speak. Coming across the front, we get all LED lighting up front, LED headlights, running lights, turn signals, and those pulsating heartbeat turn signals. I really like that. We do get some air pass through in the front corner here, but not a whole lot. As we come around to the side, you can see the black plastic cladding is slightly reworked and changed and does contrast against this wind chill pearl ice white paint that is very nice on this one, though I really wish I could have gotten that polymetal gray or soul red crystal. I love soul red crystal, but it is a nice paint job. All told, it really makes this thing look very classy. Coming down to wheels and tires, the standard wheel and tire on the hybrid is a 17-inch. This being the top trim of the hybrid model, gets 19-inch wheels. You can see they are aerodynamic in design, and they are wrapped in two 25/55 R19 Goodyear Eagle touring tires. Easy for me to say. All right. As we pan around to the side, the only really telltale thing that this is a hybrid that most people would recognize, even myself, honestly, is the hybrid badge there on the front fender. We get another one on the driver's side and a final one on the rear hatch. Otherwise, not a lot that really sets this one apart. Slightly different wheels, very subtle design changes. Coming around to the back of the vehicle, you can see we get LED running lights, brake lights back here, those pulsating turn signals as well. Fake fender vent type things on the corners that really help accentuate the size and width of this vehicle, and dual exit rear exhaust. So that is a very nice, very sporty touch, keeping with Mazda's persona and driving nature. You can see we get a chrome CX-50 all-wheel drive badge, one of those hybrid badges there, and a power liftgate. And very interestingly enough, Mazda claims that the interior space has not changed over the gas models, but the official numbers are slightly different. So I will go ahead and tell you the gas models claim 31.4 cubic feet right here behind the rear seats, 56.3 with the rear seats folded down. The hybrid model claims a 29.2 cubic feet behind the rear seats and does not claim with the rear seats folded down, though I do suspect a lot of that difference comes from what is underneath this false load floor. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but we do have some additional storage on both sides, slightly reworked design back here, but I like it. Underneath, very similar to all other Mazdas, we get a spare tire with our Bose sound system subwoofer there in the middle, but slightly reworked. We've got a whole lot more foam underneath and around here, which does cut down on rear storage. And I think that perhaps is the main difference between the cargo numbers on the gas versus hybrid models. You can see the back seat is 60-40 split bench, with the 40% being on the passenger side, which I prefer because with one child, makes that very easy. And Mazda makes it very easy to fold the rear seats down because you can do it from back here. Now, it did not fold all the way down because it caught on the cup holder of Tucker's seat, but it does fold all the way down from back here very easily so that you can extend the cargo space back here. I like that a whole lot. And then coming to me at 5'10", plenty of room underneath with a lock button and a power close button here on the hatch. Before we climb in this one, I do want to show you the key. Typical Mazda key, nothing too special or fancy here. All the buttons are on the side. You have lock, unlock, hatch release, and a panic button, but no remote start. I have it on good authority, though I cannot test with week-long loans that you have to have the app to remote start it, so that is slightly unfortunate. Though I do like how it is a passive entry system. You can lock it by pushing that spot on the door handle right there, unlock it by tapping on or grabbing the door handle like that, and the mirrors will fold and unfold as you do so. Opening up the doors, you can see we've got the black leather on this one, though hybrid models do offer red leather as an option. Really wish this one with the pearl white had the red leather, but we get all this contrasting stitching that's really nice. Auto up, down on all four windows, which is very nice. All your controls, including for your power folding mirrors right there. A little bit of storage down low. Multi-way positional seat with two-person driver memory, two-way lumbar, and I already told you these are leather seats. They're heated, they are ventilated, and I really like them. They're nice, they're comfortable. You can see we get some contrast, but not a whole lot. Again, I would have preferred the red just to have a little bit of color here on the inside, because Mazda's contrasting stitching is about all that you get. As I climb in here, we have a 7-inch driver information screen here and a 10.25-inch touchscreen Apple CarPlay infotainment system here, but we'll talk about that after I push the power button. When I do, nothing really happens. That 4-cylinder does not turn on because we do rely heavily on the batteries and electric motors, especially at low speeds. Do not take any heart into what you see here on the screen. I have not driven this that much as you are seeing this intro portion, so that is a completely false number. Don't believe it, but you can see we've got tons of range over here. We do have a slightly reworked gauge cluster in that we do not have a tach over here. We get a charge meter, so to speak. We do have multiple different functions that we can pan through here, but not a whole lot going on as far as different options there. We also do get, if you can see, it's right by my tripod up there, a head-up display. Over my left knee, you can see we've got the 2-person memory seats here, your hatch release, a couple of poverty blanks, traction control, fuel door release, and the like over here. As we move across, we get dual zone climate control with heated and ventilated front seats. Really like that. Though it does not remember that you had them on every time you cycle the vehicle off and back on. So on a warm East Texas day like today, I'm turning them on every single time. I mentioned the 10.25-inch screen here. It is touchscreen when you are stationary and when you are on your CarPlay screen. Otherwise, Mazda really wants you to use the command knob, which comes in handy because it really is kind of far away. But everything is controlled here. Nothing's really changed as far as ergonomics for the hybrid model. We do have a few different buttons and modes up here. We have an EV mode, but you can see my battery is drained too low right now, but at low speeds you can prioritize EV mode until that battery gets depleted. We also have 3 different drive modes. Instead of sport, normal, and off-road, we get power, normal, and trail. Slight reworking because of the powertrain differences in this one. Cup holders that are kind of far forward, especially if you're going to have tall drinks. A mechanical gear selector here for the electronic CVT, and when you put it in reverse, only a rear view camera on this. No 360 cameras on any hybrid model, even this $40,000 top trim. Interesting omission there with that one. Otherwise, very similar here. And then we do have a Qi wireless charger that phones continue to grow and get bigger and bigger. My iPhone 16 Pro Max just fits in it. Split opening center console here, decently sized, 2 USB-C ports in there. Very nice, very comfortable seats, nice storage, and some additional storage in the damped dual level glove box. Very much like that. Additional storage up here for sunglasses, and go ahead and close that. And we do have a large panoramic glass roof that does not, at least in the front seats here, cut into my headroom all that much. I still get decent amounts of space back here, or up here as the case may be. But let's go ahead now and move around and sit behind myself at 5'10", see what that back seat is like before we actually get out and drive this hybrid and talk about what it is like in motion. Typical back seat amenities back here. We don't get contrasting stitching on the doors, but we do get the contrasting stitching on the seats. Just like I showed you back in the back, you can fold this seat down, and we'll go ahead and show you what it's like folded flat down by moving Tucker's car seat out of the way, but there you go. You can move the seat belt so that it's not down, but it does have a channel here on the top of the seat, which makes for a very convenient place to locate it so it doesn't get tangled up. Sitting position back here is a little bit higher. My hat is already touching the ceiling. This is where that roller shade goes. So we have slightly compromised space back here in the back, but I still get decent leg room behind myself at 5'10", with nice cutouts, but no storage in the back of the driver's seat. We do get a mat pocket behind the passenger seat, a couple of HVAC vents, a couple of USB-C power ports, but no heated seats or any amenities like that to speak of back here. And even though on the hybrid model there is no direct connection between the front and rear wheels, this is still an all-wheel drive platform that the gas models do require a mechanical connection, so we still get a large center tunnel pass through coming through the back here. But that is a quick tour of what it's like inside. Now let's see what it drives, and let's pick up a little passenger and get his input too. All right, so we are setting off in this one. I have put some more miles on it, 86.4 to be exact, and I've picked up a small passenger back in the back seat. Back there is Tucker.
Hi.
He does not normally get to ride along with me on press trips and press reviews, so this is a nice little bonus to have him with me on a vehicle that is under embargo. Kind of interesting. I don't typically get to do car seat installs on a media drive, so this is a little bit special. But as we bring in Tucker's Graco Extend Fit child safety seat, go ahead and put it in its rear facing format. And yes, I'm gonna need to move that front seat forward just a bit. It is a power adjustable seat, and yeah, I'm gonna have to move it forward just a smidge to be able to put that car seat in its rear-facing format, but I've still got plenty of space up here for a compact crossover. So no major complaints from me there. As we get back to it, we'll turn it around, put it in its forward-facing configuration where Tucker's been riding in it thus far. We'll drop our top tether back there and find out just how easy it is to install it with those exposed lower latch points. Makes that very easy and convenient. And now we can snug the seat up itself. No major issues or problems right there. Now this seat doesn't slide forward or anything, so I am going to have to go around to the back to install that top tether. As we move around to the back of the vehicle, it does have a power lift gate, which is very easy to access right under the Mazda logo there. I really like this windshield white pearl paint. Really makes this one stand out. And as you can see, no real change to rear cargo space, making this a hybrid, which is very nice. But let's finish putting in Tucker's child safety seat first, and then we can talk about cargo space. So I need a little bit of slack here. We just get a little slit in the seat back, and you kind of have to dig around blindly in order to get that attached. I will say there will be maybe a little bit of squish to the seat back here, but generally a firm corner, so I don't feel like we're going to be doing any long-term damage. Trust me, I will snug this up two-handed as soon as I get done with the camera, but very easy installation here, no real complaints. But yes, as you are seeing this video, these are on dealer lots and you can go pick one up right now. And from everything I showed you earlier on the tour, I'd say this is a very good deal. In fact, I have a video already on the channel where I compare this $40,000 compact crossover to the latest and greatest from Chevrolet in their new Equinox. Also similarly priced. I mean, within a few $100s of one another, and just kind of show off some of the differences. I'm sure it is very obvious to you there on camera that I have got the fuel efficiency screen up here in front of me, and on our current trip from his grandparents to where I am right now, we're getting 34.3 mpg, real world, real testing. That was mostly highway driving, and it picked up as we got into the city in stop and go traffic, because this is rated its highest 39 mpg in city traffic, because of course hybrid system really prefers stop and go, because at low speeds 26 and below you can drive around in EV mode. You are watching this to see, well, what does the first hybrid CX-50 ride like? The suspension in this is very similar to the suspension in all other CX-50s, though I do suppose they might have made some tuning differences to make up for the added weight of the hybrid system in this. In fact, sitting underneath Tucker in his car seat back there are all the hybrid batteries to make this work. Yeah, did you know there's batteries up underneath you?
No.
No. Tucker, why don't we get your thoughts and opinions? What's it been like riding in the back seat of this one?
It's been like pretty nice.
Pretty nice? Do you have good leg room back there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah? How's your wobbly head? I know we aren't on our normal brick streets, but how's your wobbly head back there?
Well, currently, gravity is kind of pushing me sideways, but myself has been moving my head around, so I'd say pretty nice. Pretty nice,
pretty good ride on this one. Very comfortable. And I will go ahead and say the ride on this one has been supremely good, but I am now on my favorite driving road because, well, Mazda, zoom zoom, all that fun driving. I had to bring it here. I absolutely had to test out what this hybrid system was like in a fun driving environment. I will say, again, the suspension has not really changed all that much, though the weight distribution has, giving almost a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. I believe it's 55-45 here in the hybrid versus the gas all-wheel drive variants. And that really has led to a fun driving experience. The steering in this is firmer, a little heavier than in something that isn't a Mazda. Again, talking about the Chevy Equinox I compared this against, that we are also testing this week. It definitely makes the driving nature of this just a little bit sportier, but you definitely feel the heft of the steering resistance in city traffic. This is geared more towards fun, athletic, sporty driving. I will say the brakes on this have been really good. The suspension has been really good. The power delivery has been very good. This does, yes, employ Toyota's eCVT, electronic continuously variable transmission. So you really haven't felt it shift and row through gears, but I kind of feel like I've seen a lot of negative comments from you on the gas-powered version of this and Mazda's old school 6-speed automatic. So this is a more modern transmission. It's fine. You really cannot feel it do its work, and you can slap it over into sequential mode where you can simulate going through the gears if you want to, though why would you want to? Not quite sure on that one. Otherwise, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time in this one. Like I said, I've put 86 miles on it today, going to pick him up from my in-laws, and now here on my favorite driving road around the lakes here in East Texas. I can tell you, this is a fun to drive compact crossover. This is the Mazda of compact crossovers. And this has an ever-growing set of rivals, but I would say the biggest rival to this one, as far as driving characteristics, driving dynamics, and the like, would be its own CX-5, and perhaps the Dodge Hornet, which comes in gas only and hybrid variants. I have not gotten to test the plug-in hybrid RT, but I've tested the GT on a couple of occasions, and that is really the only driving rival that I feel this CX-50 has. Otherwise, my quick 3-day tour of this one has been a very positive experience. I've enjoyed my time in this. It absolutely works for us as a family vehicle, and as somebody who enjoys sporty driving, it's been a fun to drive small little crossover as well. Go ahead, put it into a quick turn here. Woo! Those Goodyear Eagle touring tires do make a little noise when you stress them out a little bit. But yes, I have absolutely enjoyed driving this down curvy roads and the highways alike, through city stop-and-go traffic and on long straight stretches. It has been a fun vehicle, and I think Mazda has got a real winner on their hands. They do too, because as I mentioned earlier, they are expecting 40% of the CX-50s sold in 2025 to be this hybrid model. And short of a couple shortcomings, mostly in the packaging, like no 360 cameras, I really think this is the trim, the model, the powertrain that I would go for if I were shopping a CX-50. If you want to see more from us here on the channel, hopefully we will get another one of these for a full week's worth of testing, where Holly can get behind the steering wheel and she can give you her thoughts and opinions. I'm not even in sport mode right now. But yeah, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop from us. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me and Tucker on a quick 3-day tour of the new 2025 Mazda CX-50 Hybrid, until next time, gearheads.